Okay, so we're looking at it. Okay, we started with uniforms. Actually, we started with uniform stitches here. These are the reverse side of it. We have uniform stitches again. So now this one right here, we're starting with the uniform stitches because we have wrong, right, wrong, and so now we got to do right. So here's one, chain two. That's your first double crochet. So now you're going to make 2 more double crochets in that corner. So here's 1 and 2, and that makes a total of 3 double crochets because your chain 2 is going to count as that double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over and make 3 more double crochets. So you yarn over, and notice I'm catching the yarn tails, okay? So I'm going to yarn over, go into the stitch or the space, the corner, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over and go through the second 2 loops. That is your basic double crochet. Okay, that's never going to change. That's the way you make it all the way around. Okay, again, so I have 1 there. We need 3 more or 2 more to make the 3. Here's 2 and here's number 3. You're going to chain 1, and if you want, you can go ahead and trim your tails right now. Ah, yarn barf. Okay, so chain 1, and now we're going to make 3 double crochets in this chain 1 space. So see, it's the same thing, but the look of the granny square is different than the one I previously made, and I'm going to show you in comparison here in a minute. Chain 1, after the 3 double crochets, I chained 1 here. I'm going to go back in this space here and do another 3 double crochets. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and here's our corner again. So we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, yarn over and go back into that same space as we did the previous 3 double crochets. So your corners are always going to be 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets, because look how perfect it makes that corner, nice and squared. Okay, so now we're going to chain 1 because we have to get to this space here. Yarn over, go in here and make 3 double crochets. Every space is going to have 3 double crochets. Okay, so any chaining done outside of the corners is a chain 1. Then we go into the next space and make 3 double crochets again. There's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Here's our corner again, so here's where we're going to do the 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 2 because that's our corner. That's the way we make the corners. 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets in the same space. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. Remember, we're always going to chain 1 outside of the corners. Okay, so we're going to make 3 double crochets in this chain 1 space of the previous round. Here's 2, and here is 3. Chain 1, and now again we're going to do 3 double crochets in this chain 1 space from the previous row, or round actually. Here's 2, and here is 3. Chain 1 again. We're back at the corner. Okay, our corner is going to be 3 double crochets. Here's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain 2 because we're in the corner. Okay, the corners are always going to get a chain 2. Everywhere else is a chain 1. and we're going to make 3 double crochets in that same corner space as we previously made the 3 other double crochets. Okay, and there is our corner again. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now we're going to chain 1. We're not in the corner anymore, so we're chaining 1. Yarn over and make 3 double crochets in this previous chain 1 space of the previous round. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, chain 1, and again we're going to go back in that corner, or not the corner, but in the chain 1 space, my apologies. 2 and 3, chain 1. Okay, so now we're going to join with the slip stitch to the top of the chain 2, and we're going to cut it off. Okay, and we are done. Okay, so this right here is the only corner or the only yarn tail that you would need to weave in. Okay, and even at that, you can weave in it here, weave it through here, and then with the yarn needle, go ahead and weave it all in through here. Okay, so that is the other way to make a granny square. I don't use this granny technique. Like I said, I like the way I do mine. But look, this granny square was made with a 5mm. And the one that I made on the previous tutorial was made with a 4. This is a 5mm. This is a 4mm. Okay, and there's the difference between the two. This is the way I do mine. They're all on the right side. Now you could use the same technique and not turn your work, but I don't like all the cutting and the tying the knots on this one versus the previous video that I posted. I don't have to cut anything off. I'm still hiding my tails inside my corners, you know, when I first start, and the only tails I need to weave in are going to be these 2. Okay, so we have 2 versus the 1. Okay, and again, it's your preference. See how all of mine are on the right side. We know they're all on the right side because they all look nice and uniform versus the back side. Okay, you see the back side has a bunch of little squiggly lines, kind of like ramen noodles. That's what I call them. Okay, this was done with today's technique using the 5mm hook. We started off on the right side. Then we had to turn our work, and so we ended up working the reverse side. We turned our work, which made it back to the right side. And then one last time we turned our work, and it's on the reverse side. So you have uniform, ramen noodle, uniform, ramen noodle. Can you see that? And here's the one that's all uniform, all ramen noodle in the back. Okay, again, you can use this technique and not turn. You can continue going around as long as you go to the nearest corner. Okay, you always want to work it in the nearest corner. Tie your knots and then work over them. So this one was made using the slip stitch method. I ended up here, and I would slip stitch to the corner, and I would start, and I would hide my yarn tail. Okay, again, this one was made with a 5mm hook, and this one was made with a 4. So that is the size difference on them. Okay, well, I hope you found this I can't even speak. I hope you find this tutorial useful, and you have options now on how you want to work your granny squares.